All right, it's kind of hard to believe this is summative number 12 for the semester already. I have high expectations for this one. I'm hoping that this is going to be really good for some of you. The first section of the quiz is a review of systems. It is all review except possibly the last question, okay? So to begin with, it starts by just solving by graphing, which means you're going to need to find where the ordered pairs intersect at the end of the question. Okay? But how do you want to graph these? Get them into y equals? Okay. So the first one, what do you want to do there? Okay. So he's thinking add the y over to the other side and then subtract the 8 back this way so that it says y equals 2x minus 8. Do that any order you want. Start down here at -8 up 2 and over 1. Okay. And there's no like less than, greater than, it's just a line. Okay. The second one, you want to get that one in y equals as well? What would that look like? It's kind of a weird equation, right? We could, if we subtracted the 5x over to the other side and then divided everything by 5, we'd get -x plus 4. Did everybody get that? Okay. We could have divided by 5 from the beginning. It was kind of weird on that one. So your slope should be going downhill. Anybody figure out where they think they're intersecting? 5, 0? You think 4, 0? How would we check that we did that right? Guys, this is important because you don't want to miss this over something silly. How do you check? Yeah, plug in 4 and 0 and 4 and 0 and see if it works. 2 times 4 is 8 minus 0. Check. 20, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 0 is 20. Seems okay. It has to work in both. Otherwise, you mess something up. We good? All right. Quick review of these. The first one is already set up for us. We start at 5 and go down 2 and over 1. Solid or dotted line? Okay. It is a less than, not equal to. So does it include the points on the line? No. So it should be a dashed or dotted line. And a less than means we're going to shade below it. Ooh, yeah, that's straight. All right, then we have this hot mess. What do you want to do there? Add the 3x. Okay, 2y is greater than or equal to 3x minus 4. Then if I divide everything by 2, do I need to flip anything around or anything? No, because I'm not dividing by a negative. But when I divide that 4 by 2, I get -2 back there. Okay, starts down at -2, up 3, and over 2. Now, this one had a greater than or equal to. What does that mean? The or equal to part means it's going to be a solid line, and the greater than part means I'm going to shade above the line. Now, what does that mean above the line, guys? On my picture here, kind of above and to the left, right this way, just so we're clear. It's where the y-axis goes above. So it's this way. So where are all the points that are double shaded? Would be like below the blue and above the red, right? All of this in here would be the solution to this system. So 0, 0 should work in both equations, right? As it's shaded, double shaded. Any questions on that? More practice on those are on worksheets 1, 2, 3, 4. Whichever ones had that kind down, I don't know. Solve by elimination. Ooh, I don't know that it's this tricky one on the quiz, but when you have to show me that you did it by elimination, okay? There should be work. It shouldn't be substitution. It shouldn't be a matrix. How do you want to eliminate either X or Y? Your call. Somebody pick X or Y. X, okay? So what will 2 and 3 both go into? Okay, so I'd need to multiply the top by a 3 and the bottom by a 2, but that will give me positive 6 and positive 6. You want to do negative on the bottom? Okay. So across the top, I get 6x plus 9y equals 27. Did I do that right, guys? Okay, negative 2, negative 6x plus 8y equals positive 58. Anybody? Okay. So add, and the x's drop out, and I get 17y equals 85. 85 divided by 17 is 5. We good? Are we done? The answer for 2 is the whole graph. Yes, yes, yes. They do intersect at 2, 1, but it doesn't actually, it's actually all points that are double shaded, okay? We were done here? Yes? No? Okay, we got to plug it back in and find X. Yeah, we need an ordered pair. It says answer is an ordered pair. We can plug it in anywhere. I think I'm going to go over this nice top one here. 2x plus 3 times 5 equals 9. So I'll have 2x plus 15 equals 9. 2x equals negative 6. X equals negative 3. How did I do? Okay. So then if we wanted to check them real fast, 2 times negative 3 plus 3 times 5 should be 9. And 3 times negative 3 minus 4 times 5 should be negative 29. Those both work? Yep. Do you see, guys, where there's no reason not to get these right because you can check them? All right, this is probably the question. Nope, just kidding. This one will be fine. Okay. Shayla sold bows and barrettes to raise money for a trip. She charged $4 for bows and $5 per bracelet. The first day she sold $100 worth of stuff. She sold 5 times as many bows as bracelets. Find the number of each she sold. Do you remember why I worried about this one? The 5 times business? Okay. But what are you gonna tell me first? Okay. What about, okay, the number, is that find the number of each she sold? Yes. Number of bows sold, and you can just write number of bows and number of bracelets. Okay, who's got one equation? Just throw it on the cart. It's fine. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, in the closet would be great. Anywhere you can find one equation? $4 per bow. It's okay if those are those for, yeah, they're not gonna. $100. Good job. Okay. She sold 5 times as many bows as bracelets. So let's just think about that for a second. What did she sell more of? So we need to be very careful that in the end we wind up with more bows. So if she sold more bows, which do you got to multiply by 5? Okay, she sold 5 times as many bows as bracelets. So if she sold 2 bracelets, she sold 8 bows. No, 10. I can read 5 times, yes. If she sold 3 bracelets, she sold 15 bows, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So which one do we need to multiply by 5 to equal the other one? Now does it make sense? So 5 times the bracelets, which would be 5y, equals x. Because in order for them to be equal, when we already have one 5 times as big, we have to multiply the other one by 5. All right, so think very carefully about that. And then just check your answer at the end of the question. All right, do you want to do substitution or do you want to do a matrix? Do you want to do elimination? Yeah, it's set up pretty easily. It says we can put a 5y in for the x. So that would say 4 times 5y plus another 5y equals 100, which would be 25y. Did I do that right? So then if we divide, I get 4. So we have 4 what? Yeah, y was bracelets. And then if we plug it back in here, we'll have 20 bows. And did it turn out what we wanted at the end? More bows, right? So Shayla sold 4 bracelets and 20 bows. Any questions about that one? So just be real careful that at the end it makes sense and that it checks and everything. All right, and then probably the question I'm worried about most on the whole quiz. I really, really, really need you to practice these a little bit. It says solve, this is a nonlinear system, okay? So practice this. I put a couple extra practice at the end of the review, and I also, it's on worksheet 2 and 4 maybe, where we practice these, okay? We need to do substitution. You can't use a matrix for these because they're not both linear. I need to suggest that we would look real closely at this. If we look at this first equation, if we substitute something in for y, what are we going to have to do for it right here? Square it, which would probably mean foiling something, okay? So it might be easier to substitute in for x here. So how could I do that? Make this one say what? Yeah, and I'd probably just be lazy and leave it like that. Not even write negative y plus 2. All right, so now we're going to put that in here so that we have a negative 3y squared minus 12 times 2 minus y plus 3y plus 24 is all equal to 0. So if you do your substitution step and it starts looking really messy, maybe go back and try the other variable. All right, so we have a negative 3y squared. Distributing here gives me what, guys? And then, okay, so I have a negative 3y squared plus 15y equals 0. Then what? Okay, I can also take out what? A 3y or a negative 3y, whichever you want. If I divide each by negative 3 and a y, what will I have? Okay. -3 equals 0, never. But if I even wrote it as -3y equals 0, I still get y equals 0, right, if I divide? And the other possibility is that y could be, okay, we've only done these a couple times, and I have a feeling some of you didn't do your homework. I can't mix and match those, okay? When y is 0, there's a specific x that goes with that. When y is 5, there's a specific x that goes with that. I'm plugging them both back in here. So x is 2 minus 0 would give me 2, 0 as an ordered pair. If I put the 5 back in here, x equals 2 minus 5 would give me, okay. Now, these are miserable to check, but you have a calculator, right? So the top equation, -3 times 0 squared minus 12 times 2 plus 3 times 0 plus 24 is supposed to equal 0. This would be 0 minus 24 plus 0 plus 24 equals 0. That one's working pretty well. Okay, the second point here, plugged back in there would be -3 times 5 squared. Somebody type quick. Minus 12 times -3 plus 3 times 5 plus 24 is supposed to equal 0. This would be -75 plus 36 plus 15 plus 24. Does that work? 39 and 36 is 75. Yeah, I think it's working. Okay. But do you understand that it's worth your time to make sure that they're working? All right. The second section of the quiz is matrix operations. How do you know when you can multiply two matrices together? Yeah, I know it goes row times columns. Okay, row by columns and row by columns. If this was matrix 1 and this was matrix 2, what would have to be equal? Okay, so give me an example of ones that you could do. 3 by 1 could be multiplied by, I'm going to do like, say, 1 by 7. Just because then what size would your answer be? Okay, these have to be equal, and the resultant would be a 3 by 7. Any questions about matrix multiplication? Yes. The question on the quiz is, can these be multiplied? Yes or no? What size is the answer? I give you numbers, yeah. But yes, you could, if that was this question. All right, when can you add matrices? When they're exactly the same size. Okay, exactly the same size. Any size can be added as long as both of them you're adding are the same size. Same with subtracting. All right, given the initial inventory for textbooks at Harlem and the delivery of a shipment of additional books over the summer, find the updated inventory. So what are we doing here? Yes, okay. Is everybody clear? Because that's somebody will subtract. We didn't ship these away, they were delivered to us, okay? So what's the answer? We add this corner and we get, and then we add this guy and we get 49. Did I add that right? Then 72 plus 0, and this 8 plus 60 would be 72 and 68. Think you can get that one right? Did I add something wrong? Everybody okay? You're just adding the entries. You can type them in if you want, but it would be a huge waste of time. All right. Number 8 is called multiplying by a scalar. It says, I've decided to bump all your summative points by 3%. Okay, not really. Choose an appropriate scalar and complete the scalar multiplication to show the grade matrix, updated grade matrix. It's not 0.03. Okay, if I multiply by 0.03, the numbers will be very small, right? Is that what your new grade is? Yes, you need to say, I'm going to keep all of these points plus 3%. So that would be 100% plus 3%. So if you want to multiply by 103%, the scalar is 1.03. Is everybody going to be good on that tomorrow? All right, do you really need to put this in as a matrix? You sure can, but could you just do 74 times 1.03? Okay, so give me the new entries. Now, it doesn't specify. I think the one on the quiz is money, though. If it's money, what would be appropriate to round to? Yes, 2 decimals, okay? We can go ahead and practice that, even though it's kind of weird for this question, but 74 times 1.03, 7622, someone else get that? I made my matrix kind of small here. 88 times 1.03, 90.64. 6592, anybody get that? $97.85. Okay. You could put this all in matrix A. What size would it be? Yes, it would be a 4 by 1. You could put it all in. And then on the home screen, just type 1.03 times matrix A, and it would give you this, okay? But I don't know that it's worth your time, but it's up to you. Number 9, matrix multiplication. Row times column. What size are these? 2 by 2 times a 2 by 2, so your answer is going to be a 2 by 2. Okay, can't do it on the calculator because of this crazy letters thrown in. Okay, row times column. So I'm doing what? 6 times 4 plus 0 times negative 2, which would be, but it would be 24 altogether, right? All right. Now, row 1 gets multiplied by column 2. What will that be? 6 times A plus 0 times 9, which would just be 6A. Right? Then we're down to the second row, first column. So you're taking the second row times the first column again. So C times 4 plus 8 times negative 2, which would be 4C minus 16. Anybody tell me how the last one goes? Row times column. C times A plus 8 times 9. Yep. AC or CA, I don't care. Plus 72. Any questions? Practice is on worksheet 6 and 7, or make one up. I would just make one up with numbers in it, guys, and then check it on your calculator, right? If you want to practice, just practice a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 2. It's fine. All right, number 10. The local Targets keep 3 types of calculators in stock at each of its stores, okay? The current inventory and retail price for each calculator shown determine the value of each store's inventory. Any idea what we're doing here? What size is this matrix right here? The first one here. Yeah, it's just, what? Try again. It's all in one row by 3 columns, right? The one row is the value of the calculator, and the 3 columns are the types of calculators. What about the second matrix? The 3 by 3? The rows going across are what? Those are the types of calculators. And the columns going down are the stores. Can we multiply them in this order? Okay. What size matrix will we get? A 1 by 3, which would give us the dollars going across by the 3 stores, A, B, and C. Everybody get that? Now, could you do this without a matrix at all? Look up here for just a second. At store A, this is what I have in stock. So if I want to find the total value, couldn't I just do 23 times 7 plus 130 times 3 plus 150 times 4? And that would give me the value of store A. Everybody see what I'm talking about? There's 7 of these at $23 a piece, plus 3 of these at $130 a piece, plus 4 of these at $150 a piece. Add that all up, that'd give me the value of the inventory store A. Okay, so don't get this wrong, because you don't know what they're talking about. All right, if we do put them in, we have to go to Matrix, over to Edit. We said we're going to put the first one in as what size? 1 by 3. Okay, and it was 23, 130, 150. Then we quit and we go back in, go over to Edit and down to another matrix. I put it in B, and it's a 3 by 3 of the number of calculators, which I hope I have in right. I think so. Okay, then what do I do on the home screen? And I have to put it in that order, the 1 by 3 times the 3 by 3 that I put it in. Anybody else get those numbers? The inventory for store A was worth $11.51, store B was worth $24.62, and for store C $14.14. Any questions? All right. Then we have a section on using inverses and matrices. This section, this first question, guys, just says create a matrix that could be reduced to row echelon form to solve this system of equations. Could be. Does that mean you're supposed to do it? So all you need to do is give me one giant augmented matrix. If you want to put the little dash lines for the equal, you can, but you don't have to. What does the first row read? It is X, Y, Z, and W are the letters, and that's the order they always use them in. I know it's annoying. Okay, so we'd have what? Good job. Next row. Okay, third row. -6. Okay, last row. Okay, should be the easiest question on there. Everybody gonna get it right? Okay. It was practically a gift, right? I even kind of lined things up, so get it right. All right, you don't have to solve it. This one says solve, but it says using an inverse matrix. Little secret here, I'm not going to know how you solve this, okay? But you do have to write it as a matrix multiplication problem. What goes in this matrix right here? That's the one everybody gets wrong. X, Y, Z. Because you are saying I could multiply this 3, 3, 4 by this matrix, which is a column, so I'd have x, y, z, 3x plus 3y plus 4z, and I would get 30. All right, what goes in the next one? 2, -6, 4. If I multiplied it by x, y, z, I'd get 8. And then 4 to -4 would give me 8 as well. So your choice is to make matrix A 3 by 3 and matrix B, what is this, guys? Okay. And then does anybody remember how you do the inverse thing? You would do the name of A, and then you use the matrix button without the second, so you do that, and then times the name of B. What is your other choice? You don't feel like actually doing what the question asks. How do we use RREF? Anybody remember? That's what this question was all about, guys. Yeah, you could put it in one giant matrix. And then do RREF, and that would be of a 3 by 4. All right, let me show you both real quick. I put the data in matrix C, I think. The 3 by 3. Does that look right? Okay. And then quit. I put the answer matrix in D. 38 and 8. So then on the home screen, I would want the name of matrix C and then hit the matrix button, so the inverse, times, and go back and I put the other one in D. And I get 4, 2, 3. The other way to do this, though, I'm sorry. The other way to do it would be to go and put in matrix C instead the whole thing, which would be a 3 by 4. So was it 38 and 8, guys? And then once I had it all in there, I would go back into matrix, over to math, up to RREF, and put the name, the name of C there. And I would get this. Does this mean the same thing? Okay. I like RREF because I hate typing them in, but it's up to you. What is the answer to the question? The only thing you're going to have to write down for me is, everybody good? Okay, I really feel like some of you are lost because you didn't do any homework on this unit, but all right, now this is an important question because it's on 2 different tests this week. What does this first line say if we were using, say, x, y, z? Okay, so the first equation says x equals 9. The second equation says, and the bottom equation says 0 equals negative 5. What does that mean? Okay, this time the first equation says x equals 12. The second equation says y equals negative 3. And the third equation says z equals 5. So you have an ordered triple that works. All right. And you need to actually tell me the solution. Don't just tell me that it has only one. This equation says x plus 3z equals 8. This equation says y plus 2z equals 4. And this equation says 0 equals 0, which means there are many solutions, because that's true. Then you have to write them all. What are you going to write them all in terms of? What letter do they have in common? Z. So you're going to say Z could be any number. Now, this is where students get confused. I want something with a Z here and something with a Z here. Nope. Because this is the spot where X goes and this is the spot where Y goes, right? So I need to make this say what? I have to solve it for X, guys. X equals what? Okay, negative 3z plus 8 or 8 minus 3z, it's the same thing, I don't care. Everybody see what we did? Now we're going to put a y in here, but it can't have a y in it. It can only have a z. So the y equation, if we get this y by itself, we'll say 4 minus 2z or negative 2z plus 4. Doesn't matter which way you write it. If you want more practice on that, okay, do the homework, but also the very last sheet in the packet has a review on that, a practice question on one of those. All right. Then Friday, we did optimization all day. This is the easiest question on here, right? Does anybody remember what we're doing? How do we maximize the profit of this? At one of these 4 quarter points, the maximum profit occurs. So 4 times 0 plus 10 times 8 would be 80. If you put 0, 0 in, you're going to get what? Okay, 4 times 4 plus 10 times 5 would be, what is it, 66? And then 4 times 6 plus 10 times 0 would be 24. So what is the maximum profit? 80, and it occurs at, everybody okay? We're running out of time real fast here. All right, I'm going to graph these really fast. X is greater than 0 means that it's above the x-axis. I cannot shade below. Y is greater than 0 means it's to the right of the y-axis. I cannot shade to the left. Then I have this equation, negative x plus 8. Okay, starts at 8. It's going down 1 and over 1. It will cross over here at 8. It is a less than or equal to, so it is below that. The second equation, which may or may not be in this form on your quiz, in other words, you might have to solve for the y. This one is in the right form, starts at 6, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, would cross out here at 12. Okay, and it's below that as well because it was a less than or equal to. I need the corner points of the region that is double shaded only. 0, 0, 0, 6, right? Over 0 and up 6. Yep, this one was 8, 0. And then I need the point where they intersect. Can you tell on your paper? If we put a 4 in here, we'd get a 4 here. Negative 1/2 times 4 would be negative 2 plus 6 would be 4. Seems like it's 4, 4. You could definitely solve them by substitution or elimination or a matrix. Okay, that's all you have to do on that one. All right. Last question. Read very carefully. He wants no more than 20 animals total. It says he's getting pigs and geese, and X is the number of pigs and Y is the number of geese. He can have no more than 12 geese. That's a sentence all by itself. He can spend $80 to raise a pig and $40 to raise a goose, and he has only $900 to spend. But the profit, $65 on a pig and $40 on each goose. So what's the profit expression? The word profit occurs right here, guys. 65 on every plus 40 on every goose, and we're done with that equation. We don't need those numbers anymore. Okay, now the three equations. Anybody got one? 20 animals total. Okay, up to 20, right? No more than, so it could be equal to. No more than 12 geese. No X in that sentence, right? It's only about geese. All right, money, he has to stay less than what? $900. So it's going to be $80 a pig plus $40 a goose, has to be less than or equal to 900. So my gift to you is that there's not one big nasty problem where you have to do all that and solve it so that you get double whammied if you mess something up, okay? It's broken down in little pieces like the quiz review is. Any questions? All right, I did put 2 extra practice questions on here. The key for the one I was most worried about. There's also extra practice at the back of the packet, okay? All of my keys are in the binder. And the key for these extra practice problems is in Google Classroom. Come in tonight if you need more help. I am not here tomorrow morning.